touchdown for the Hamilton Ticats.
Hey everyone, welcome to a Week 6 preview between the Ottawa Redblacks and your beloved Hamilton Ticats. We are going to be taking a look at each depth chart, as well as we're going to be looking at game notes, and also, since this is Week 6, we will take a deep dive into all of the stats so far up to this point in the season, no matter what team you support. So we're going to take a look into that for you as well. Let's get into the away team. We're going to do away team first. So on the left side, you have Eugene Lewis, Justin Hardy at the wide receiver and slot back. Left tackle, you had Boyd and Desjardins as left guard. Ruby at center. Bladick and Black at right guard. Pelios at right tackle. Then you have Keelan White and Luke Hakuno Navanu at wide receiver. The two slot backs on the right side, you have Miller and Pimpleton. Running back, you have Daniel Adnaboye and William Stanback. And then quarterbacks, you have Drew Brown, Dustin Crum, and Matt Schultz. With fullback, Goslin and Dubas. For kicker, you have Lewis Ward and Richard Leone as the punter. Chaves as the long snapper. Returners, Pimpleton. On the defensive side, we have Malden the fourth, McGowan at the left defensive tackle. Left defensive end, my apologies. Left defensive tackle, we have Lang and Okapoko. Right defensive tackle, we have Tala and Wakefield. Wakefield is listed as a designated American along with Stanback. We have Carter and Onyeka as the right defensive end. Ely is starting as will linebacker with Cormier and Griffiths behind him. Santos, Knox, Peter, and Verdi as middle linebacker. Pickett as Sam linebacker. You have Calden and Priester on the boundary side for corner and halfback. Williams is starting at safety with Cumberbatch as backup. And then on the field side for halfback, you have Henderson and Ambers, along with Frey, who's playing this week, and McGee. If we go over to the Hamilton side, so we have 3 changes coming to, well, technically 4. You have Augustine starting with Ward in for Greg Bell. Berglund in for Panabaker. Panabaker's on the 1 game. You have Jordan Murray in for Bordner. And then Stubblefield is going to be making his long season debut for the Ticats this week. And Dozer is a healthy scratch. Keep in mind, Ryan Baker is a game time decision. So I'm assuming if Baker can't go, they're going to be dressing Dozier. Just in case something happens to Stubblefield, then they have that extra Sam linebacker, unless you decide that you're going to put Burke Jr. and Benamate, I apologize if I butcher that last name, as the Sam as a backup in case. But on the offensive side, we're going with Kenny Lawler on the right wide receiver, who just finished having 207 yards and 3 touchdowns against Toronto. Beside him is going to be Tim White and Isaiah Wooden, who had a kick return for a touchdown last week. Like I said, Jordan Murray is going to be coming back into the lineup after being on the 1 game for a few weeks. Revenberg is going to be left guard at Canadian. Woodmansey and Dumoulin Duguay is going to be our 2 centers. Liam Dobson is going to be the right guard. Barrow as the right tackle. Beside Barrow is Bridges, and then usually they list 2 slot back positions on the right side. For some reason, they're only listing 1. So you have Keandre Smith, Tyler Chernowski, O'Leary Orange, and Keaton Berglund. You have Johnny Augustine and Tyshawn Ward at running back, Bo Levi Mitchell, who just threw over for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns last week. He's going to be starting with Taylor Powell and Harrison Frost at quarterback, Antoine Milinovich, Litre, and Robinson at the fullback tight end, with Mark Leggio and Gordon White at long snapper, Nick Constantino at punter, and then Isaiah Wooden for kick return and punt return. For defense on the boundary side, which is the left side, we have Julian Hauser and Isaiah Bagna. Beside them, we have Mile Fox and Mario Kendricks. The corner on the boundary side, we have Jamal Peters and Dustin Talbert at the halfback. The will linebacker, we have Ray Wilburn and Cole II, with Kyler Fisher as the third will linebacker. On the field side for defensive tackle, we have Casey Sales, and the reason why he has 2 numbers is because 51 is when he plays on defense. 44 is if we have an injury and we need a backup for offensive line. So that's what the 44 is. Tijon Garbett and Owen Hubert for the right defensive end. Middle linebacker, you have Devin Versek. Ryan Baker is a game-time decision. And then Trevor Hoyt is the third string middle linebacker. Again, Reggie Stubblefield at Sam linebacker making his long-anticipated debut this weekend. He did sign a 3-year, roughly about $400,000 to $500,000 per year with bonuses and whatnot. You have Jonathan Moxley on the field side corner. Deshaun Amos, field side halfback. And then you have Stavros Kachatonis, Tane. I want to say is how you pronounce it. Again, I apologize if I butcher it. And then Patrick Burke Jr. for the free safety position. Now we are going to, just let me pull up the numbers because I was looking at this earlier. So this is the game notes. So you have the East standings. Montreal's 5 games played, 3-2 record. Hamilton has a game in hand. They're 2-2. Keep in mind, if Hamilton wins on Saturday against Ottawa, they will be in first because they have the tiebreaker against Montreal. Toronto's in third with 1-4. They have the tiebreaker over Ottawa, which is why they're in third. And then Ottawa is in fourth with the same record of 1-4. Saskatchewan is 4-0 on the season. They play Calgary tonight of when I'm recording this. Calgary is 3-1 in second place, tied with Winnipeg due to the goals or points for points against differential. The BC Lions are 2-3 in fourth, and then Edmonton is 1-3 on the season. So this year, the all-time series, it's been 190 games between Hamilton and Ottawa. Hamilton is 111-79. And Ottawa, obviously, 79 and 111. In Hamilton, has the all-time record of 61-35 last year. So we have 3 games last year. We had June 30th of 2024. Which Ottawa won by 2. September 14th at Hamilton. Hamilton won by 16. And then Ottawa in Ottawa again in October of last year. Hamilton won Hamilton lost by 6. So if we go down here at Keat stats and rankings, so in 140 or 101 games, Bo's 41, or sorry, that's 101 wins, 41 losses, 2 ties. Against Ottawa in his career, he's 11-4-2. And this season alone, he's 2-2. Drew Brown is 10-9-1 in his career. He's 2-1 against Hamilton, but this season he's 0-2. For points for, Hamilton is 33.8, which is first. Points against 30.3, which is 7th. Net offense, we're 5th with 361 net offense. And opponent defense, net offense, we're the same, 361, we're 5th. Turnover ratio is +2, 4th. Let me just bring this up just in case. And then for Ottawa, it's 22.6 points for 8th, 30.0 for 6th. So they're just 0.3 points better than us all overall. You have net offense 346, which is 7th. 366 net or opponent net is 6th. And they have a turnover ratio of +3, which is 3rd. Let's see. This is record by team. So we don't need to do that. So, interdivision games, won by East teams 2, won by West teams 7. Post-bye games teams, when coming off of a bye, they're 3. They've won 3 times. So far, average attendance for the whole league is 22,414. We have had 448,280 fans so far this year. 7 games have been decided within the last 3 minutes. 1 has been in the margin of 0 to 4 points, while 14 is in the margin of 10 points or more. So we're going to go over the league-wide notes. It says here, 2 kickoff returns in the same game last week. Hamilton and Toronto each returned a kickoff for a touchdown in their game. Last time that had occurred was July 27th of 2019, BC versus Saskatchewan. Ryan Langford and Lucius Purifoy. And before that was on October 23rd of 1999 by Edmonton versus Montreal. Both by Edmonton, the only time a team has ever had 2 in one game themselves. Walk-off field goals. So last week, BC's Sean White made a 43-yard field goal on the final play at Montreal. The first walk-off field goal in 2025. In 2024, there was 10. Since 2004, there have been 80 walk-off game-ending field goals made by 31 different kickers and led by Rene Paredes and Sean White. The CFL definition for these events is that they occur in the final play from scrimmage in any game. So, Rene Paredes has had 11. Sean White has had 10. Larham and Justin Medlock have had 6. Sandro DeAngelis has had 5. Paul McCallum has had 4. Other active kickers, Lewis Ward has had 3. Brett Lothar has had 3. Mark Leggio has had 1. And then by year, 25-1, 24-10, 23-3, 22-3, 21-4, 19-6, 18-4, 17-6, 16-7, and 15-7. 4 kickoff returns, touchdowns in 2025. In 20 games, there has already been 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns. 2 by Hamilton Isaiah Wooden in all of 2024 and 2023. There was just 3, but 8 in 2022. Since 2010, the CFL has averaged 3 kickoff returns per year. Second down conversion is 48.4%. In the CFL, the key to drive continuity and low number of 2-and-outs has always been converting on second down. In 2025, the conversion rate sits at 48.4%, an all-time since the league first complied this analytic in 2008. The previous record high was close at 48.3% in 2016, and it was a 48 even in 2024. CFL Week 5 scoring last week. 4 games averaged 63.8 points per game, the highest in 2025. In 2024, Week 17 averaged 64 points, just ahead of last week's total. Big increase in big plays, plus 39%. On offense, explosive long gainers are way up in 2025. Through 5 weeks of 2024, there has just 64 long runs and passes compared to 89 so far in 2025, 4.5 per game. That's up a notable 39%. Sacks in 2025. To the 20-game mark, sacks have been averaged just 3.5 per game, down 33% from the 5.25 per game in 2023. In Week 5, there was just 8 sacks total. Leading after third quarter, 18-1. So far, 18 of the first 19 games of 2025, where a team heading into the fourth quarter has been the team leading. In 2024, up to 15 minutes to play, went 61-14-2 for a .805 winning percentage, but that meant 14 comebacks to win after being through 3 quarters. Only BC accomplished that so far in 2025 at Montreal. No edge, home or away. Through the first 20 games of the 2025 season, home and away clubs have 10 wins apiece. Home teams have had the slight scoring edge of 566 to 524 points. The longest current reception streak heading into Week 6 is led by Nick Dembski and Reggie Begelton. Dembski has his career high streak to 75 games in Winnipeg's loss to Calgary. So Nick Dembski has had a 75 game career high for receptions. And then there's Reggie Begelton, Dominic Rhymes, and Kenny Lawler. So basically what that is in the past 75 games, Nick Dembski has gotten at least 1 reception. Is basically what that means. And then we have team notes, Hamilton versus Ottawa, game 31. So the recent meetings and rivalries in 2024, Ottawa has won the season series over Hamilton for the first time since 2018. Since 2024, the Redblacks have won 10 wins over the Hamilton Ticats. Hamilton Ticats have won 11 times within that total. Hamilton has defeated Ottawa 10 straight times between 2019 and 2023. Now at 2-2. Good start. The Hamilton Ticats have won their last 2 games, each by margins of 13 plus points. Across 2022 to 2024, their combined record over the first 4 games was just 1-11. So they are already doing better in 2025. CFL leading scorer for quarter 4 points. Hamilton's 33.8 points per game average ranks number 1, tied with Saskatchewan. Notable is that they have scored at least 13 points in the fourth quarter in all four games. That was done just once in 2024 by Edmonton, July to August 2024. I just want to make sure that before I continue, make sure that it's okay. So then we have Mark Legio 24 team record. Mark Legio's current streak of 24 made field goals has tied the Hamilton record set by Luka Conji in 2012. It is the CFL's longest entering week 6 and one of 16 such streaks of 24 or more. At 9-9, he has only 2 kickers that have yet to miss a field goal attempt, along with Sean White. Legio has taken over as the Ticats' all-time field goal percentage leader at 89.4, which is 93 out of 104 attempts. My apologies. Kenny Lawler, 207. Kenny Lawler caught 6 passes for 207 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. His third career 200-plus game record, or 200-plus game. He is now one of just 11 players to have 3 or more. The leader is Brian Kelly with 6. Lawler was the 11th player of 200-plus receiving yards ever recorded by a Hamilton player, and ever since Brandon Banks, 201 in October 26th of 2019. It matched Hamilton's 7th highest total ever, and most since Arlen Bruce III in 2010 with 272. Kenny Lawler, 3 touchdowns. His 3-touchdown game last week was the first by a Hamilton Ticat player since Brandon Banks on October 26th of 2019 at Montreal. Drew Brown, 300-plus. Drew Brown is on a current 4 consecutive starts with 300-plus yards. In that streak, he has 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. The 4-game streak ties Ottawa record set by Henry Burris in 2015, September 15th to October 1st, 2015. Brown is now 8-1 in 17 starts for the Redblacks. He is 2-1 versus Hamilton overall. Plenty of Ward field goal attempts. Lewis Ward has just had 2 field goal attempts in Hamilton's first 2 games. Over the last 3, he has taken 13 field goal tries. Over the last 3 contests, he has taken 13 field goal tries, making 11. 1 was blocked. For his career, he is 277 for 316 and ranks number 2 all time at 87.5. You have Bo Levi Mitchell has a 2-2 record in 2025 and is now 111, 41, and 2 for a 708 winning percentage that ranks him 3rd all time. He leads the CFL with an average of 304.8 passing yards per game and has reached 40,242 yards for all time. Okay, so let me just write about that. So you have the career winning percentage. Suppose 708. Dave Flutie is 7.17. Mitchell 10th all time, so Ticats become the 11th player in CFL history to reach 40,000 career passing yard benchmark in last week's win at Toronto. He needs 293 yards to pass Tracy Ham and enter the league's top 10 all passing yards. Red zone efficiency. Hamilton has been highly effective in the red zone, converting 88% of their opportunities inside the 20-yard line. They also failed to score one on the trip while in the red zone this season. High-scoring Ticats. The Hamilton Ticats 51-38 over Toronto was the CFL's highest scoring in 2025 and the highest scoring since September 8th, 2018. Edmonton 48, Calgary 42. It featured 10 big plays, a league high for 2025, and it was the CFL's second highest game in the last 14 years, dating back to 2011. The last time Hamilton had scored 50-plus points is a game in Week 2 against, just as Week 2 of 2019. Devin Varasek comes into this game with back-to-back defensive effort of 8 tackles. Darius Pickett ranks number 4 on the CFL with 32 defensive plays and amongst the leaders in takeaways with 2 and 5. Perfect quarterback rating 158.3. Bo Levi Mitchell posted a perfect quarterback rank rating of 158.3 for the fourth time in his career, minimum of 15 attempts. His uncapping rating of 195.1 was the 10th highest in a regular season in CFL history, minimum of 15 attempts, and career best. Mitchell has led the touchdown drives on 6 of 13 possessions, the highest by any quarterback in 2025. So just give me 1 second here. I just got to send this. So if we keep on scrolling down, so we have, okay, so this is game notes. I've already spoken about that, all-time record. So between 2017 and 2025, the 19 games between Hamilton and Ottawa, Hamilton is 12-7, with 12 of those games being decided 63% in the last 3 minutes. And 7 of those games have been decided by 0 to 4 points. That offense total points. That's just that. Okay, I'll leave that. That. Yeah, it's quarterback stuff. We don't need to worry about that. All-time running. Okay, so this is all-time scoring. I don't want that. Or is it near the top? All the way back up to the top end. Because usually they have them. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the wrong thing. Duh! I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's going to be okay. Full wide statistics. This is what I'm looking for. So Hamilton is 1-1 at home, and Ottawa is 1-2 on the road. So we have points for Hamilton is in first, tied with Saskatchewan at 33.8. And then we have offensive points, 109, which is an average of 27.3. We have scored 15 touchdowns, which is tied with Saskatchewan for the season. Then for field goals, we've hit 9. Net offense, we're in the middle of the pack with an average of 361 yards. We're at the bottom of first downs with 82. Middle of the pack in offensive plays, we have 221, an average of 55.3. Give me 1 second. Let me just double check that. Schedule August 3rd. Okay, so let's go back to this. So Hamilton lead is 7th with 9 field goals. We have net offense of 361, so we're 5th. We have 82 first downs, so we're 7th in that category. Offensive plays, we are 4th with 55.3 offensive plays for a total of 221. And we average the 4th most, top of the East, as 6.53 yards per play. We're 8th in rushing yards. We have 258 rushing yards, but we're averaging 64.5. Hopefully we'll get more rushing yards with Johnny Augustine starting this week. Rushing attempts, we only have 65, so we're not really rushing. It's pretty much 1 yard per rush if you take the attempts, and just under 1 yard per rush. Average rush gains, we're 8th with 4.0. Average gain first down, we are 6th with 6.4. Passing yards per game, we are top in the league with 1,230 and 307.5. Passing attempts, we're 5th with 146. And then completions, we have 102, which puts us in 4th with 69.9%, which I'm sure will, now that our team's starting to click, that completion number will slightly get better. We have 9 passing touchdowns to be tied in the for first in the league with Winnipeg with 9. Our pass efficiency rating is 113.1, which leads the league. As far as 30 plus completions, 30-yard plus completions, we are 6th with 7. As far as sacks allowed, We're third, or tied for third, technically in second, because BC and Winnipeg are tied for first, but we'd be in third because of the tie between Winnipeg and BC for 4. We have 5. Ottawa has 12, so expect a lot of pressure from our defense on the offensive line. For our defense, for Ottawa's offensive line. Now going over to the against or the opponent statistics, we are 7th with points against, with an average of 30.3. Total is 121. So Ottawa's just above us by 0.3. We're 7th in opponents' points against, so we average 27.3, 109. However, Ottawa has averaged more than us, 122 points against, for an average of 24.4. We have allowed 13 touchdowns by our opponents, which is 5th in the league. Ottawa has 1 more, which would make them tied for 6th with BC. We have allowed 10 opponent field goals, which is tied for 4th with Toronto. Ottawa has allowed 15 field goals by their opponents. Net offense, we average 1,444 yards total, 361.0 yards, as Ottawa has 1,828 yards for a total of 365.6 net offense. Hamilton opponent first down, we only have 87, which is 3rd best. Ottawa is 5th with 92. Opponent offense plays, we are 8th. They have 232 against, which is an average of 58 offensive plays against. Whereas Ottawa is first with 247 and 94.4 on average. Opponent yards per play, Ottawa gives up 7.40 yards per play, which gives them 8th. Hamilton is 4th with 6.22 opponent's yards per game or per play. Opponent rushing yards, Ottawa has given up 518 for a total of 103.6. And Hamilton has 374 opponent rush yards for 93.5. You have opponent rushing attempts. Hamilton has 74 against, whereas Ottawa has 99. So it looks like Ottawa gives up a lot of rushing attempts against. So that should be good for us in our favor. Hamilton is 4th with 5.1 yards on average, whereas Ottawa is 5.2, so not that much of a difference. Average of first down opponent. Hamilton is averaging 6.1 first downs against per game, which is 4th. However, Ottawa is averaging 7.6 per game, which is 9th and last. For opponent passing yards, Ottawa has 1,349 yards against for an average of 2.69.8, which is 4th. Hamilton is 1,121 yards, which is 280.3, which is 7th. Hamilton has 145 attempts against, whereas Ottawa is 136. And then Opponent completions, both Hamilton and Ottawa are tied for fourth with 96. Ottawa for completion against is 70.6, which is sixth. And then Hamilton 66.2 for fourth. For opponent pass efficiency, Hamilton is 81.4, whereas Ottawa is 104.7. Passing touchdowns, Hamilton has only given up 4, whereas Ottawa has given up 6. And then opponent 30-plus completions, Hamilton has only had 3 against, whereas Ottawa has had 12. So, if you remember correctly, let me just pull it up because I don't want to be wrong. I'm going to have to look at last week's game for a second. Because I think play-by-play. Let me go to the first quarter. So that was the first one. Okay, so that was the interception. Okay, so he's thrown 135 yards. So I'm just going to give me 1 second. Rib injury. So a 35 and okay, so a 79. Let's see here. So let's go to the second quarter. Get rid of this. Close that. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, let's see how many LC threw to him. 10, 6. So it's Bridges. 15. That's broken up. Sacks, punts. Okay, third. Let's try this. Because I know he had a couple of them. Okay, so that was 8. I'm just trying to find against Greg Bell's touchdown. Because I know he had... Okay, so that was a 46. So that was touchdown, that was touchdown, that was touchdown. I think he threw for one more time, if I'm not mistaken. Greg Bell penalty. Fadden Haba. 30. Andre touchdown. And I think that was it. Okay, so my whole point is because Ottawa has given up 12 30-plus completions. My point of looking at last week's was, of the 5 catches that Lawler caught, obviously 3 of them were for touchdowns, but 4 out of the 5 that he caught last week are for 30 yards or more. So expect Bo to be throwing a bunch of long bombs. This week. Team statistics. First down passes, second down conversion rates. So we have 21 first down rushes and 55 first down passes, whereas Ottawa has 34 first down rushes and 57 first down passes. Ottawa Ottawa has 7 first down penalties. We have 6. We're 44.0 for second down percentage convert. And Ottawa is 45.8. Time of possession, we normally are 29 minutes and 53 seconds, whereas Ottawa is 31.54. Touchdown drive, we are second with 20.8, whereas Ottawa is only 14.1% on touchdown drives. 2 and out. So for Ottawa, they're 42% on their 2 and outs, whereas Hamilton is 26%, which is the lowest for first place. The average field position, Hamilton is in first with 39.2 yards, as Ottawa is second with 39.1. Turnover and penalty rankings. So Hamilton has 7 turnovers. Ottawa has 9. Turnovers made. Interceptions thrown. Hamilton only has 1 interception on the season. Ottawa has 4. Hamilton and Ottawa both have 1 fumble loss. Turnover ratio, Hamilton is +2. Ottawa is +3. Penalties. So Ottawa averages about 10 penalties per game for a total of 50 penalties so far this year. Hamilton has 31 penalties for an average of 7.8 penalties per game. Hamilton averages 56 yards per game for penalties, and they have a total of 224 yards in penalties, as Ottawa averages 89.8 yards a game in penalties, and they have 449 yards just in penalties. That's like the size of 4 football fields. Hamilton has made 2 fumbles for 3-way tie with first with Ottawa and Winnipeg. Offensive penalties, we've had 16, whereas Ottawa's had 22. Ottawa's had 19 defense penalties, and Hamilton has had 8. Hamilton has had 7 defense or special teams penalties, whereas Ottawa has had 9. Total kick return yards, Hamilton has the second most, 748, who's only behind Toronto, and Ottawa has 655. Kick return touchdowns, Hamilton has 2, Toronto has 2. Edmonton, Ottawa, and Sask only have 1. Opponent kickoff return touchdown, we only have 1 against. This is red zone big plays. Opponent big plays, we've only had 6 big plays against. Ottawa has only scored 7 big plays. We have opponent big play returns 1. Ottawa has 4. Us and BC are still 100% on field goals. Punting, we average 49.4. Ottawa is 48.1. Hamilton net punt average is 39.1, whereas Ottawa is 36.5. Kickoff average, Hamilton is 65.4. Ottawa is 63.4. Let me see. I'm just gonna play this in the background. I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Let me turn this off. Okay. So we were talking about field goals, okay, punting, okay, kickoffs. Okay, big plays rankings. Hamilton has 12 big plays. Ottawa only has 7. Hamilton has 6 big plays against. Ottawa has 19. So expect some big plays this weekend, or tomorrow. Big play returns 5, as Ottawa only has 2. So don't be expecting big plays from Ottawa, according to these numbers. Big play returns 1. Ottawa has 4 against. Punt return average. We average 15.9. Ottawa averages 14.2. Opponent punt return average. We have the best in 7.1, as Ottawa averages 13.1 against. Kickoff return average. Our kickoff return is 29.1, which is the most in the league. Ottawa is 21.6. For the opponent kickoff return, we are 7th with 26.2. Ottawa is 20.3 for third. Okay, here comes the meat and potatoes. So we are going to take a look. Okay. Where's it? Nick Arbuckle leads the league in attempts with 170 and completions at 122. He has 1,449 yards that he leads the league with. 7 interceptions. Keep in mind, Chad Kelly will be back next week, so this pretty much, unless something happens and they don't play Chad Kelly, this number won't increase anymore. Bo leads in touchdowns with 9-to-1 ratio. His longest pass is 79, which Bo leads the league. Arbuckle has 30-plus yard passes, so he leads the league in 11. Trevor Harris averages 10.1 yards per pass. The interception percentage, Drew Brown hasn't thrown an interception yet. That's because he's mostly been injured. And he also has the highest efficiency rating of 118.6. We have touchdown to interception ratio. Bo leads with 9.0. League highest, Brown leads league highest with, there was a game that he had 413 yards this game. Bo leads game highs with 5 touchdowns from last week. And he also has 3 300 games. So 3 out of 4 games this year, Bo has had 300 yards. So it would not surprise me to see Bo continue to hit either close to 300 or over 300 yards. So Arbuckle leads the league with 13 sacks taken, followed by Trey Ford with 11. Bo has 5. Drew Brown has 4. Justin Crum has 6. And Matt Schultz has 2. QBR, I'm not sure what quarterback rating attempts. I'm not sure what that is. So Davis Alexander, Trevor Harris, and Vernon Adams all lead the league with 3 quarterback starts. 3 quarterback wins. Nick Arbuckle leads the league with 4 losses. So as far as passes of 20-plus yards, Nick Arbuckle leads with 31 attempts and 13 completions for 436 yards. He also has more interceptions than anyone when it comes to 20-plus yards. And Bo also has 5 touchdowns of 20-plus yards on the season. So you have here. So here's an interesting breakdown. So of the total passes so far, Bo has thrown 145 passes or attempts. 96 of them have been 0 to 9 yards. 25 of them have been 10 to 19, and 24 of them have been for 20-plus yards. So let's see. So Nick Arbuckle leads 0 to 9 yards. Arbuckle leads 0 to 19, with Trevor Harris 29, 1 right behind him. And then he also leads the 20-plus with 31. He has 170, so that's about 25 more attempts than Bo Levi Mitchell. So depth yards, Nick Arbuckle has 1,798, whereas Bo Levi has 1,502. The difference is 0.2. And then we have red zone complete passing leaders by completion. Nick Arbuckle is 100%, 14 for 14, 106 yards, 6 touchdowns. Bo Levi Mitchell is 11 for 13, 84.6 percentage, 97 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So we have, for 2025 CFL passing single game highs, Bo Levi Mitchell has 50 against Calgary for attempts. Completion, it's tied with Drew Brown and Caleros with 34. Completion percentage is Davis Alexander with 83.3. Passing yards is Drew Brown with 413. Passing touchdowns is Bo Levi Mitchell with 5. Longest pass completion is 79 by Bo. And then consecutive completion, Zach Claros, 14. Now we are going to go on to the rushing side of things so far this season. See how that's gone on. So you have AJ Allen leading with yards, 347. It's about 36 more than Dedrick Mills. Dedrick Mills leads the league in carries with 63. Nathan Rourke leads the rushing average of 8.2. Justin Rankin has the longest with 74. Dedrick Mills leads the league in touchdowns with 5. Next one up is Justin Crum and AJ Ouellette. Dedrick Mills has 9, 10 plus. I'm assuming that's 10 plus yards. And then AJ, Mills, and Rankin each have 3 20 plus. So AJ Ouellette averages 86.8 yards per game, and he's only had 1 100-yard game. So there's only been 4 people with 100-yard rushing games. A.J. Ouellette, James Butler, Matthew Peterson, and Justin Rankin each have had one. If we go, Dedrick Mills has 5 rushing touchdowns. Kenny Lawler has 5. Dembski has 4. And then Fajardo, Ouellette, Crum, Barry III, and Philpott each have 3. Jose Maltos has 62 points, 62 kicking points. Um, 16 field goals, 13 points after one single. So his field goal, he leads the league in 16 field goals. He's tied with Mark Leggio for 13 point afters. And Nick Constantino leads the league in 3 singles. We have 2 block kicks, one from Anthony Lanier from Toronto for a field goal, and Sean Oakman with an extra point. Punt deflections, Gavin Heslop has 1. Now we're going to get into the receivers, shall we? So after we're done this, we're going to go check out the media from today's practice. So Keon Hatcher leads the league with 43 targets. Kevin Mattal leads the league with 27 receptions. Kenny Lawler has 483 yards over the season. Clark Barnes has the average of 30.9, which he has 7 of 9 and 216, but he got injured, so once he comes back, I'm sure that will go down a bit. Kenny Lawler has the longest with 79 yards, 5 touchdowns. He leads the league. Both DeMonte Coxie and Kenny Lawler each have 6 30-yard passes. Coxie has 10 2D. I want to say second down, maybe. However, Kevin Mattal leads the target percentage at 93.1. Kenny Lawler leads the yards per game. There we go. That's better. With 120.8 yards per game. Game highest 207 is Kenny Lawler. He is the only one that has had 2 100 receiving yard games plus. Tyson Philpott leads the league with 139 yards after catch. Depth yards, Kenny Lawler leads 702, which is an average of 18.5. 20-plus targets, both Coxie and Lawler are tied with 14. However, of those 14, Kenny Lawler leads the league with 8 receptions. So I'll just leave this on here for a second so that if you want to take a look. You can. So we're gonna look at field goals and converts next. Sean White and Mark Leggio, again, like I said earlier, are both 100-yard attempts. Maltos leads the league in attempts with 18 and 16 made. Larham has the longest with 56. He beat Castillo by 1 at 55. Larham has 2 singles, along with Brett Lothar, and Maltos has 1. League, I think that's league. Larham leads with 56 LG attempts. Okay, so under 40 yards, Maltos has 15 attempts and 14 for 15 under 40 yards. Larham is 8 for 9, 40 plus yard field goals. Also is 3 for 3 for 50 plus yard field goals. Larham also leads league field goal yard average made 42.6 and 41.5 in attempts. You have Larham leading field goal yards made 469 and attempts. Jose Maltos has 543. Converts, you have Mark Legio 13 of 14 for 92.9 yards. And Jose Maltos 13 for 13. Larham is 7 for 7. And Rene Paredes is 11 for 11. So leading the way in points, Jose Maltos with 62, followed by Lewis Ward with 45, Larham with 42, Brett Lothar 41, Mark Legio and Sergio Castillo 40, Rene Paredes 39, Vincent Blanchard 35, and then in last place is Sean Waite with 34. Punter and kickoffs. Punt returns. So Zai Wooden has 11 punts for 184 yards. Averages 16.7. 51 is his longest. 130 plus return. No touchdowns. However, for kickoff returns, he has 15 kickoff returns for 474 yards, average of 31.6. Longest was 105. He has 2 touchdowns and 40 plus kickoff returns. Let's combine the yards. Not really looking at that. Now comes the defensive stats. So we got that. So Micah Ottaway leads the league with 41 defensive tackles and 43 total tackles. Darius Pickett has 5 special teams tackles for the tie. Andrew Chatfield leads the league from Toronto with 5 sacks. You have Isaac Darkangelo and Tyrese Beverett with leading the league in forced fumbles with 2. Interceptions is CJ Colden from Ottawa. Okay. I don't know what KV is, but that's Robert Carter Jr. Fumble recoveries, Pickett with 2. Tackles for loss is Moncrief of Calgary with 4. And then Michael Ottaway leads 44 defensive plays. Pass knockdown is a 4-way tie between Robert Carter of BC, Wesley Sutton of Montreal, Marcus Sales of Saskatchewan, and Tyrell Bonds with... Oh, those are pass knockdowns. Okay, that's what that meant. Player sacks. So Kendricks of Hamilton is in second place with 3. And that's it for that. I don't condone this, but I just thought I'd put this out there. So for tonight, I have Sunday. I have Dedrick Mills anytime score, AJ Ouellette anytime score, because you know that they're going to get rushing touchdowns, and then AJ Ouellette and Dedrick Mills alternative rushing yards. So all purpose. 40 yards each. So that is plus 393. For tomorrow's game, we have Kenny Lawler anytime touchdown score. Bo Levi Mitchell passing yards 250 plus. Kenny Lawler 60 plus receiving yards. Drew Brown under 310.5 passing yards. Kenny Lawler over 5.5 receptions. Bo Levi Mitchell over 1.5 touchdowns. And then Eugene Lewis under 68.5. Then we have Sunday's game. Justin Rankin, anytime scorer. Justin McInnes, 40-plus yards in receiving. James Butler, 30-plus yards in rushing. And then Nathan Rourke over 1.5 touchdowns. And that is plus 418. Now we are going to listen to let's go to Ticats here, and we're going to give a listen to Coach Milanovich's press conference today. It's only 3 minutes. This. So we can't. So you know what I'll do? I'll do it this way. I will do it this way because we're just showing it on there, so it won't. See, yes, my mic's working. Okay, so we'll play it through the phone.
Scott, you get Ray yourself to go back. What sort of addition does he bring to the defense?
Well, he hasn't played in a long time. He's extremely verbal, got a huge amount of energy, one of those kind of personalities, I think, that teams can kind of feed off of. I'm not sure what to expect. I know he's a talented player, but he's been out for a long time, but I expect him to play really hard. I expect him to bring some juice, and I'm sure he'll make some mistakes, but he's been doing it a long time.
I would imagine no big mistakes and enthusiasm.
I would think so, for sure.
Do you have to protect him from himself?
Well, I mean, we don't have enough DBs on the roster to protect him. He's got to be smart, and we've been watching him for a couple of weeks. Potentially, he could have gone last week. We wanted to give him another week, and hopefully, we chose the right time.
How's the young kid looking at those steps?
He's doing good. I mean, there's some mistakes, but he can be a good player. He's very natural, very good tackler. Obviously, the physical skills, can run and chase things down if he does make a mistake. He made a couple of really nice plays last week on a 2nd and 4. They tried to run kind of like a jet sweep. He almost, horse collared him, had the presence of mind to take his hand off and wrap. Just I think little stuff that are hard to teach, but I think he's going to be a good one.
What did you see in him that made you make the move this early in the season? I mean, I think when you drafted him,
They're talking about Devin Verasek.
Progressing, but this early in the season, he must have been something.
Well, he had a really good week. Even on film, and I'm not sure what they're being taught in their defensive scheme in college, but his zone drops were very fluid in terms of his hips and his ability to change directions, and it just felt like he saw the game well. There was times when he looked like the prototypical Mike linebacker stuffing the run, and then there was times where it looked like maybe he wasn't reading the guards or whatever. The way you'd want him to. And he had a week, I don't even remember when it was, Dan, it was where it just looked like it clicked, and it was becoming just very instinctive. And that's kind of when we decided it was time.
You addressed this yesterday, and I apologize for bringing it back up. When you play a team back-to-back, good or bad?
I mean, both. It's good in terms of your players already have familiarity with, it's not as mentally taxing for them in terms of what they're expecting to see. I think from a coaching standpoint, the second week is harder because, they've just seen some of your best stuff, and you got to find other stuff or kind of tweak the things that you already ran to hide them a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but there's definitely good and bad.
Back to Reggie, he knew he wasn't going to play until sometime in the summer, whether it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
He's done everything he could to become a teammate on his team. He was even holding sticks.
Yeah.
Ones versus ones sometimes.
Yeah, there's just something about him. He wants to be great. I mean, there's an inner drive there that you can't ignore. I remember back in training camp watching him, running 40s down the sideline when he wasn't even practicing. He just he cares about football. He loves it. I think he loves the locker room. I think his energy is going to be a good thing for us. Thank you.
Okay, so that's Milanovic. Let's go to Reggie Stubblefield, see what he has to say.
So it's been 400 days, Reggie. Have you counted those days?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, without a doubt.
You look very subdued, but I got to believe inside you can't wait for tomorrow to happen.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people have been asking me that, how I'm feeling, and I'm telling them to keep it all bottled in, focus on what I got to do today to lead up to the game, and then once kickoff starts, it'll all show.
How you feel physically?
Physically, I feel great. I wouldn't decide to step on the field if I didn't.
Could you have played last week if you had to?
I think we did the right thing.
Yeah.
I think since I got here, man, I always tell people of how thankful I am of the front office, Ted, the coaches. I mean, even Coach Boone, Marcellus, our strength coach, and the whole training staff of how patient and how smart they've been to get me back on the field at the right timing, So.
Are you a patient person by nature, Reggie?
I play DB. Sometimes you can get a little greedy. You know what I mean?
But I'm wondering if you, by trusting the process and knowing that every day you're a step closer.
Definitely. When I think about patience, I just think about my football journey. You know what I mean? Started off at a small school, Prairie A&M. Worked my way up to Kansas State to earn a spot and make a big name at a big Power 5 conference in a school like that. And then just understanding my CFL journey, right? Being cut, coming back, practice squad, Grey Cup champion. You know what I mean? So patience has been one of the biggest things I learned throughout this journey of life. And going through the injury, it taught me a lot about patience. Taking one thing a day at a time, focusing on where your feet's at right now. And then when you have the moment, those moments that you want, for example, tomorrow's kickoff, that's when you really, embrace the journey, understand the process, and then let it all show. So, yeah, patience, definitely.
You knew, because you signed a fairly long-term deal, you knew you were going to be a teammate here of a lot of guys for some time.
Yes, sir.
It seems to me from where I've been sitting that you've gone almost out of your way to make sure you were a teammate right from the start. I mean, things like in the last few weeks, holding the first down sticks during
practice.
During one-on-ones, or one versus one. That kind of thing. Conscious effort on your part.
Yes, sir. You got to understand your role, right? I think that's the biggest thing about being a professional is that even if you're the guy with all the lights on you, if you're the guy doing the dirty work, we're all in this together, right? I remember the beginning of training camp, Coach O said it the best. There's so many moving parts that make this organization and this league and the CFL so great. And that's why I'm so thankful for it. I tell people all the time of how thankful I am for the CFL and just so many different people that makes this league great. So how can I, as somebody that's injured right now, be selfish? You know what I mean? Like, I need to do what I can do to keep my teammates as confident, as happy, as proud, and just to see them, understand that what I'm going through, that I'm not making it all about myself, because it's about the team. It's about Hamilton. It's about, the fans that cheer for us and root for us, that's starving and hungry for a Grey Cup that they haven't seen since '99. So, yeah, definitely.
So that was Reggie Stubblefield, and we have one more to listen to. This is Devin Verisek.
How have you settled in to the starting lineup going into your third move?
How have I settled in?
Has it been much of an adjustment for you?
Yeah, 100%. It's an adjustment. It's professional players, right? I'm going up against some of the best football players in the world. So really just taking it day by day, just going through my preparation and just doing whatever I can to help the team win.
And were you surprised that this move came as quickly as it did?
Yeah, I thought I would get an opportunity at some point, but I didn't realize how quickly it was going to come. But with that being said, I just kind of had to step up to the plate and show that I can do it.
How much of a whirlwind is this move up for you?
It's been a little crazy, but I enjoy it. The guys definitely helped settle me in and kind of get used to it and get me in the swing of things. So that's definitely helped. But it's been a little bit of an adjustment for sure.
Is there anybody in particular you believe on?
Yeah, my teammate Ray, he's probably been my top guy. He's been helping me out. Anytime I make mistakes or whatever, I tend to beat myself up, and he's always just kind of helped me up, keep my chin up kind of thing.
What's the biggest adjustment that you've found?
Just the speed of the game and how finite the differences are between winning and losing games. It really does come down to 4 or 5 plays and just being on the better side of those 4 or 5 plays.
How long did your time at Windsor prepare you for this? Has it been much of an affirmation for you?
Sorry?
Yeah, going from playing college at Windsor to coming here, was there anything that you did in university that has helped you here?
Yeah, I think my DC did a great job at Windsor with kind of prepping me and telling me what's going to happen at the next level and kind of getting me up to speed on the game because I made a transition in university from defensive end to linebacker from high school to university, and he kind of took me under his arm and kind of taught me the ropes at linebacker. So
going into tomorrow night's game, what do you see from Ottawa? What offensively do they do well that you have to be wary of?
They're going to try and confuse us with different looks, different kind of plays. There's going to be a couple probably trick plays here and there, so I just got to be patient and go through my reads.
Being in the middle, are you able to see everything as it happens?
Yeah. I got a pretty good sight on everything. Typically, I'm tackle to tackle for the most part. But yeah, you can see everything out there.
Now, you said everything this quickly. Now, how much of an adjustment is it for you to make your read quicker, understand what's happening quicker, and react quicker?
So that really just comes down through my preparation throughout the week. That's kind of what helps slows the game down a little bit. So if I prepare throughout the week, then on the weekends, the game slows down a decent bit.
But I mean, Brandon did a nice job. Sam, now you've got Reggie there. You haven't played with him yet. What do you think he brings?
He brings energy, he brings a lot of confidence, and he brings communication. That's one thing I noticed quite a bit this past week at practice, that he talks. He talks a lot pre-snap, and it helps. It helps me quite a bit. So
he's done everything he can to become a teammate here, even though he knew he wasn't going to be playing until July. He holds the sticks during one versus ones. A lot of stuff like that. You notice what the other guys on too?
Yeah, 100%. When he was hurt, he was always trying to come talk to me, say what's up, say hi, say bye. And it's the little things that matter, right? He's just trying to make himself felt present, I guess, and that he's part of the team. So yeah.
So that is Devin Versek for his media bit today. So we're gonna end the stream there. It's gone on for an hour and a half. I think I've done dug deep enough into the depth charts, the preview for tomorrow, the stats between both teams, the game notes between both teams in the league, the stats across the league so far this year. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. Tomorrow I will be at the game, so I'll have footage for the review. I will have the review recorded tomorrow night, either out tomorrow night or out on Sunday. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. This is Rick from Hamilton Sports Central, and have yourself a great rest of your day.